most of us men have been conditioned not to be vulnerable, and vulnerability can be interpreted in so many ways depending on maybe testimonies, witnesses, and experiences of levels of vulnerability, and also what it means to be vulnerable specifically as a man. Because in the world that we live in, a man is a representation and a demonstration of a person who is a provider. You are a protector. You are supposed to be there for your family. You should always be on the front line. Whenever there are difficult, tough, and challenging times, as a man, you should always be a solution provider. Whenever there's a sense that makes others uncomfortable, especially the vulnerable side, the vulnerable group, from women to children to even other men too. As a man, you are supposed to provide a sense of security. But then at the end of the day, who also gives you the same, who pours into your cup as a man when you're facing all these storms, when you're having these mental and emotional warfares? Because all along our lives as men, we are conditioned to always believe and understand and even realize and know that no matter what is happening to you, you are strong. Even if you're going through extremely indescribable, excruciating pain, you should always say that you're okay, even though you're just about to die in the next 20 seconds. And that's why it's very important for us as men to understand and know and come to a realization of means, possible means and ways of how we can express what we are dealing and we're going through. Because 9 out of 10, I hold a strong opinion that most men are vulnerable mentally and emotionally, for lack of a better statistic. 9 out of 10. And you realize men die a little earlier than men in terms of lifespan. For example, if you were to consider the number of fatalities of men who have died, like do a world roundup, and I think it's even important to use artificial intelligence to just go on the Googler, use your Gemini, Claude, GPT, whatever, Grok, just search what is the ratio of men in total. Do the 7 continents: Africa, Antarctica, South America, North America, Europe, Asia. Do a stat and do a ratio. The number of men who have died and left this planet is higher than that of women. And I'm not saying it in, in a demeaning or a misogynistic way, but it's just, it's stunning. It's profoundly dumbfounding, for sure, for sure, for sure. Because most of us men don't like losing control. That is the number one step for men to be vulnerable: losing control. And it's also very difficult for us men to lose control. And lose control, I want to explain it in a way that you want to be in charge of your family, but also you're in charge of another relationship. You're in charge of fending for other people. You're in charge of ensuring that that girl acts well. You're in charge of ensuring your friendship circles are going well. You're in charge of that bank account. You are in charge of reacting and expecting people to, conduct things in a different kind of way that should please you or please, the modus operandi of that structure. You are in charge of a lot of things. But one thing that you forget, that you're not in charge of the outcome and the result. Because at the end of the day, for every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there's a cause to it. So lose control a little bit. Sometimes, stop following up. Sometimes go silent. Sometimes stop providing. Sometimes remove yourself from the equation. Sometimes it's good to let the boat sink so that those who are on it can learn to swim and finally get back into the boat and row it to the destination. Because by doing that, you let everybody know that they can do it too. If you are doing it, you're being there for them. Then when you're gone, who's going to be there for them? And also you, who is there for you right now? So you better do it now. Lose control a little bit. Let go of that relationship. Personally, I'm so good at controlling how people should react and respond to me, but I forget that it's your choice and your decision of how you speak to me and how you respond to me. It's also my choice and my decision how I react to it. So I'm in charge of controlling people's demeanor, personality. At the end of the day, you're getting emotionally, let's say, intoxicated, and you're not releasing it. And that's why there's so many suicidal rates in men. There's so many alcoholism cases in men than women, because men aren't supposed to be vulnerable. A lot of men brush off spirituality because for a very long time, the brand of spirituality that has been packaged and is already out there is a little bit religious, sounds religious to most men. But also spirituality requires you to be vulnerable as a man, okay? Because when you're spiritual and aligned and attuned and in tune with your internal self, your higher self, and your maker and the higher power, you find yourself letting go easily. You find yourself forgiving. You find yourself not fighting too much because you are not the one who is in charge. It's a higher power that's in charge. Also, the reason why a lot of men as well brush off spirituality is because spirituality makes you vulnerable, right? You stop efforting sometimes on things that you are trying to put in the effort, that were giving you zero results. You stop feeling, emotionally and mentally drained or in control all the time. If you're happy, you're sad, or you should just about to scream. Also, when you become spiritually and mentally aligned, you even your posture itself, even your body language and posture. If you're prayerful, you find yourself kneeling. If you're in meditation period or moment of posture, you find yourself, in calm state. And most men feel like that makes them vulnerable and they don't want to do it. That's why when you go to so many mega churches, you're likely to see a majority of the congregation are women and children than men, because most men shy away from religion because it makes them, you know, vulnerable. And I think it's very important on that note for us men to learn how to cope up with every situation that comes through life, because you're always taught to be tough. But believe me, all this has an end. And at the end of the day, we are also heading to a certain destination, and all of us will just die one day. So all you gotta do is live a little, lose control, let go, stop efforting, and just like, it's not easy. Even me too, I'm on that journey, but just let go and just, yeah, that's all.